Breakthrough is a moment. It's that moment when all of a sudden something happens. You either get so pissed off that you just won't settle for it anymore and something in you shifts. Or you get so excited, you get inspired by something and something inside you shifts. It's an insight. It's a truth. It's an action. It's an activity. You know, the first time my friend Quincy Jones touched a piano, it was like changed his life forever. Like instantaneously, he knew the world was different. We've all had breakthrough moments. If you're a leader, your job is to create breakthroughs. That's your job. You can't take a breakthrough if you're trying to protect yourself by seeing how bad it is and telling everybody how bad the economy is. You can't create a breakthrough without a vision. And here's how I can't take a breakthrough unless you can come up with a unique enough strategy to make it happen. So in order to make those breakthroughs happen, there are two things you really got to do. You as a leader have to be able to influence. If you ask me what's leadership in one word, it's influence. If you're a leader, your job is to influence the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, and the actions of other human beings. I want to show you just real quickly a couple of fundamentals that I've learned to make a difference. Let me give you a 2-second background. I've been obsessed. How this came about for me is I've been obsessed for 30 years with answering a question, and that is, what makes the difference in human beings? I'm kind of like the why guy. It's like, okay, why do some people lead and other people follow? Why do some people dream and talk about crap and never follow through, and other people, man, they step up. You can count on them. You know the people you can count on. They will make it happen even when nothing else works. You know, I've always wanted to know that. And I didn't want to motivate people so much as find out what drives them. So I started out 30 years ago kind of obsessed by this, and I wanted to know, the biggest why was, I want to know why certain people did so much better than other human beings. Because in the beginning, you know, I thought it was someone had a better background, they had better education, they had financial opportunity, they had educational benefits that, you know, I grew up very poor, I didn't have, and I try to tell myself that story. But how many of you have ever seen somebody who's had every economic advantage, great family, great love, great education, great finances, and they spend their life going in and out of rehab? And then you see other people that have been put through hell on earth. Life has stomped on them. But the difference with those people is somehow they have found a way to flourish. So what changes this, what makes the difference in people's lives then, is really 3 decisions if you want to jot them down. If you look at your life and say, why did my life turn out the way it is, and what's going to happen right now for my life going forward, I believe decisions equal destiny. Your decisions, it's not your conditions that change your life or that shape your life. We can all find somebody who's had the worst conditions, their life is great, and we can find people who have been given the best conditions, their life absolutely is something disgusting. It's your decisions. Think of it right now. How many of you can think of a decision, 1 or 2 decisions you've made in the last 5 years, 10 years of your life, that if you would have made a different decision, your life would be radically different right now? I don't know, better or worse, but radically different. Think of a specific decision. And sometimes it's a little one, like what you're going to do for a living, or where you're going to go to school, but then you meet, you know, your husband or your wife and your children, and the whole, your whole life unfolds from that. Or, you know, where your profession's going to be. It shapes the way you think. So if you want to change your life, you got to take control of your decisions. And here's the problem. When are you making decisions? When? Every moment of your life. The problem is most of them are being unconsciously. And leaders make the decisions no one else has the guts to make. If it's an easy decision, they don't need you to make it. Right? Because what everybody wants to make is the right decision. And the truth of the matter is, many times, you're not going to come to the right decision without making the wrong decision many times. It's like, you know, very often, you know, when people look at their lives and say, you know, how do you succeed? Success comes from good judgment. Would you agree? You have good judgment, you make the right decisions, you excel, you get the advantage. But where does good judgment come from? Experience. Right? You can't have good judgment without experience, and where does experience usually come from? Bad judgment. So let me give you 3 decisions that you're making right now while I'm standing here. You're making them every moment of your life, but if you take control of them, they change your life. First decision is, what are you going to focus on? Every moment of your life, you're making a decision, either consciously or unconsciously, what to focus on. And what you focus on is going to control what you feel. And we have a pattern of focus. People that succeed focus, obviously, on what they can control. People that are depressed and overwhelmed focus on what? What they can't, what's outside their control. It's a pattern. If you ever had somebody tell you something and they said, you know, you think John here or Mary here is your friend? Let me just tell you what they said behind your back. They're saying this and this, and you go, no, there's no way. I mean, Mary would never say that. John's my buddy. He would never say that. But if this person is really insistent, you go inside your head and you say, I can't believe John would say that about me. And you get all upset. And then you go confront John or Mary. And you're really upset. And then you find out that they never said it. Who's ever had this situation where someone told you something, you had this idea in your mind, you were upset, and when you got to the reality it was different? Who's been there? Say aye. Feel like an idiot when that happens. But here's what I want you to write down. Focus equals feeling. Whatever you focus on, you're going to feel even if it's not true. If you think this is the end, it's going to be the end for you. If you think this is the beginning, it's going to be the beginning. Whatever you focus on, you're going to feel. It doesn't matter. Think of it this way. Focus is reality for the individual. Because it's reality. They feel it. You ever been worried about something and you got this picture in your mind how it's going to be and you feel all this pain and you feel just as if it actually happened. But the truth of the matter is, focus is reality of the individual, but it's not reality in actuality. So if you take control of your focus, that's the first decision that controls you. And right now, you got to decide what you're going to focus on. Are you focusing on what I'm sharing, the power of decision, how it affects your life, decisions that shaped you? Whatever you focus on an ongoing basis creates the pattern of your life. So take control of it. Second decision, the minute you focus on something, you got to decide what it means.